Hey everyone, and welcome back to With Damilola. We are back with another video. I'm really trying to give you guys consistency. So today's video, what am I going to be talking about? Today I'm going to be talking about why I have decided to intercalate. So in the UK, I know there might be people that are not from the UK watching this. In the UK, when you study medicine, it is traditionally 5 years or 6 years depending on the degree you do. So my course is traditionally 6 years. So when it's traditionally 5 or 6, this doesn't include intercalation. So intercalation is essentially where you take a year out of study, out of the 5 or 6 years, to do something else. So this could be a BSc, this could be a master's. So we all obviously know that a master's typically takes 1 year. So that makes the most sense. Like a lot of people will do like a master's after the 3 or 4 years because it just would be what they would have done if they weren't doing medicine, I guess. And the BSc is a weird concept because normally a BSc in the UK is 3 years, but the intercalated BSc makes it condensed basically, and you can get a BSc in 1 year, and that includes your generic modules. So you do dissertation and then your modules for your other credits. So a lot of people in London tend to intercalate, or people who go to Oxbridge, like Oxford and Cambridge, just because it is compulsory in Oxbridge. You have to intercalate, so their medicine courses are traditionally 6 years. So yeah, I think the culture in London is a lot of people generally tend to intercalate, and I feel like that's mainly, I don't know, I feel like in London there is quite a few people who have just come into medicine straight from sixth form, so it doesn't really add anything. I mean, if they decide to do an extra year, it just makes the degree 6 years or 7 years in my case. So why am I choosing to intercalate? I feel like this is it's a good question, because it's something that I kind of toiled with for quite a while, and it was really weird because when I initially started medicine, I did want to intercalate. I wanted to do the whole shebang. Like, I wanted to intercalate, I wanted to experience another degree, and I potentially wanted to do a master's, but so many things happened, and this has kind of been one decision that I've been very indecisive with. I feel like I can be a very indecisive person, but generally I normally get my answer after like sitting down and having thought about it. But this one has taken me, I would say, years to actually finally conclude that I did want to intercalate. So I'm going to be talking about a few reasons why I decided to intercalate. And my reasons why are very personal. If you do decide to intercalate, I feel like obviously you should do what is in your best interest. I feel like that's just how you should live your life generally, and I've really tapped into that regarding my decision to intercalate. So for me, I kind of had to scale back everything and kind of think about why I wanted to intercalate initially. So I wanted to intercalate initially because I was actually very interested in cardiology, which is a specialty in medicine. Most of you might know that it's regarding the heart due to the prefix of cardio. It's relating to the heart, and I've just always been interested in that specialty. So I wanted to intercalate in something regarding cardiology. I've always wanted to do that in the beginning years. And then you start medicine, it's all like romanticized in the beginning, and you're kind of enjoying your life, you can't really complain. And then medicine starts to hit, and you're like, kind of have to reconsider why I'm doing this, and kind of have to adjust my goals and what I want to achieve in the future. And then I feel like for me, I was in a very weird place. Like, I feel like it was the beginning of year 2. Or maybe the middle of year 2, and for me, I just kind of started thinking like, oh my god, like, do I really want to do medicine? Like, I've signed up to this course, and I'm not going to quit because I'm not a quitter, but damn, like this is intense, and doesn't really feel like what I expected it to feel like. And especially because nowadays I feel like it's less taboo to talk about your experiences as a doctor. So there's been a lot of like F1s, F2s, or people just leaving medicine in general just because of the burnout and the extra stress and just the work-life balance not making sense, working in the NHS because of the strain that NHS is on, and you don't really have the support of the government, I guess, to make it a better working space for the people that actually essentially give their life to the NHS to make sure everyone stays alive. So you start to become, accustomed to burnout. And for me, the way I see life as in like, I'm here to live and enjoy my life, but I'm also here for a reason, and I would describe that reason as purpose. I've always felt like one thing that was definitely part of my purpose is like to help people. I've always enjoyed helping people. It's one thing that I will always never have a problem with, and I just kind of feel like that's one of the reasons why I've been put on this earth. So obviously medicine really fits the bill, but at the same time I do like to enjoy my life for myself and not basically give my all just for everyone else, and I'm basically left with nothing. And I kind of just felt like subscribing to medicine wholeheartedly meant that I basically had to give up my life. So this is where I started having this change of how to perceive myself as a doctor. Medicine isn't the be or end all for me anymore. I've come to terms with that, and I feel like it's the best thing for me. I feel like there's so many things that I would like to experience outside of medicine, and I didn't want to be constrained, or like, what's the word? I didn't want to only think about the idea of me of being a doctor and that's it for the rest of my life. As I've kind of matured through the medical years, I'm starting to see that there is a lot more that I would like to do outside of medicine, and I of course want to be a doctor, but I want to experience other things. And yeah. It's crazy because I feel like my idea of medicine isn't romanticized anymore. You kind of have to be realistic. It is a high stress job that's never going to go, regardless of the NHS, or if the NHS has become private. You're always going to have the lives of people in your hands, and that is a job that should not be taken for granted, or what should I say, so it's a responsibility that shouldn't be taken for granted. So that kind of went into my idea of why I wanted to intercalate. I also do like cardiology, as I mentioned, and I still did really want to do that. So I thought, so at the beginning of year 3, I was kind of thinking, I mean, these are good enough reasons as to why you would stop medicine halfway and do something else that you really liked. And another reason I wanted to intercalate is because I felt like I would have time away from medicine and kind of wrap my head around the idea that after I complete the Intercalate BSc, I would basically be a doctor within the next 2 years. I feel like through the degree, I've kind of struggled with what my life would look like when I got to year 5. Maybe it's imposter syndrome, but I've kind of always felt like, am I really well equipped to be a doctor? I know that I do have the capacity to be a doctor, hence why I'm here. I believe in myself, but when you're in these high-performing fields and you're kind of surrounded by everyone else in your cohort, and going to a university like King's where there's like 400 plus, 450 plus students in every year, you kind of get blurred out, what's the word, not blurred out, but drowned out per se. You kind of feel like you're in this by yourself. That's how I felt. And it's just crazy because I had so much support in the first 2 years. As you guys know, I'm part of the EMDP, and to not have that support, I mean, from year 2, half of year 2 onwards, you kind of just thrown in the deep end and you have to figure things out like really quickly without the support of you obviously have the support of your friends, but not having that close-knit community of being stuck with your EMDP people. Because I mean, we had like a good community, I would say, for EMDP, but after you guys joined the traditional cohort, it's kind of like everyone's left to their own devices essentially. So not feeling like I would be ready by the time I got to year 5, and just kind of feeling very overwhelmed about what life could be like when I do become a doctor, and the concept of burnout and not necessarily being happy with your life, especially when I've chased this dream for so long. It's kind of thing. So those are the 3 things where I thought, yeah, maybe this would be like a perfect time just for me to recuperate, do something I enjoy, and kind of think about life going forward and where I see myself after graduating and after becoming a doctor. So those were the 3 main reasons why I wanted to intercalate. But at the same time, I was toying with the fact that, so I was toying with the concept of time. I was thinking, I've obviously taken a year out of study before I even started medicine, and then I'm on a course which is actually 6 years rather than 5. So if I intercalate, that's going to make it 7 years, and in total 8 years before basically I graduate. So 8 years because I obviously took the gap year originally, and my age mates, if I hadn't taken the gap year, I would have been done in 7 with the intercalation. And yeah, it's the concept of time. I'm just thinking that life is kind of, everyone's living their life, and you're being left behind. That kind of started getting to me this year because, yeah, I'm getting older obviously, and you kind of start to think of other things, and it's just like, oh my days, like everything is running away from me. Why would I intercalate? Like, let me just get the hell out of here. But when I actually took a minute, and after speaking to a few people who are really like close to me and people that I go to for advice and stuff, I kind of deeped that everyone is running their own race. I mean, I knew this, but it was really good for the other people to like reinforce that for me. Everyone's running their own race, and everyone sees their life differently to how you see your life. As long as you understand like where you're going and what you'd like to achieve in life and what your purpose is, then everybody should basically face front, like focus on you, don't focus on what other people are doing, which is something my mom always taught me growing up. Never focus on what other people are doing, just focus on you, and everything will fall into place at the right time. So I would say the main reason, which it sounds so childish, but the main reason why I didn't want to intercalate is because I felt like everyone would be leaving me, and then another thing would be like, oh my gosh, that's another year where I'm not making money consistently. Obviously, my age mates are getting paid monthly now. Most of them, they have a salary, like they have money they make money every month if they go to work. I can't afford like to work like that because I just don't really have the time in terms of studying and being a full-time medical student. I don't really have the time to do that. So I just thought, oh my gosh, it's going to be another year. I'm getting older, like I want to do other things. So why am I taking a year out of medicine to study something else whilst all these things kind of go ahead without me? And then that's when I had to deep, after talking to the people who I confide in, and after they've given me advice, I kind of have to deep, okay, like, Dami, what do you actually want for yourself? What do you actually want to achieve from intercalating? Because you have to be able to say no to things, and you have to be able to say yes to things. And when you're saying no, you should have like reason as to why you're saying no. And I obviously believe like when things don't align with you or what you see for yourself, it makes it easier for you to say no. And if your reasons for saying yes align with what you perceive yourself to be as a person, then like your yes is making sense. And essentially it's like, let your yeses be yes and let your no's be no. So I decided to intercalate because I felt that it made sense. at the end of the day, there's no rush. I think I spoke about it in my last video. Life continues regardless of what you do. You can choose to live life simultaneously alongside the degree, or you can do your degree and then live life afterwards. And obviously, as I said to you guys, I live my life simultaneously. Like, I'm gonna do enjoyment, I'm gonna do traveling, I'm gonna do all of that whilst I'm studying, if God permits. So I just felt like I like cardiology. I like the cardiovascular medicine degree, which was being provided at King's College and UCL, and I think Imperial. I like that degree, and I'm not like in a rush anymore to graduate. I've like deep that everything will happen for everyone at their allocated time, I guess, or the time that God has said it will happen. Whatever that I want to happen will happen if whilst I'm at uni, or if I'm not at uni, basically. So just kind of enjoy the process and think about what you want for yourself, essentially. If I like cardiology, and I've been saying I like cardiology from the beginning, why am I not going to pursue an intercalate degree that could potentially help me decide if I even want to do this specialty in the future? And it even gives me time to think about the other things that I want to do outside of medicine, whether it be business, whether it be starting like initiatives regarding social mobility. Why not give myself that time to do all those things? And I can even have the time to work, because I've said that obviously I can't work as much as I want to while studying medicine, but I would be able to work a lot more whilst doing an intercalate BSc. So everything just kind of made sense. It just made sense for me to do the intercalate. It makes sense on my terms for me to do the intercalate BSc, because I'm doing this for me. I'm not doing this for anyone else. If this is what's going to make me happy, then why not do it? I mean, I feel like we're the only ones who have the keys to our own happiness. And I didn't want to leave university with the thought of, I regret not intercalating. I think that would have really broken my heart, especially because when you're intercalating, it's essentially for free. Like, the NHS is going to pay for it. You don't have to pay the NHS back. And I'll get bursary or support through the year. So it's like, if I leave and don't do this, if I want to study a degree later on, I'm going to have to pay for it, and that's going to cost money. So why don't I just take this opportunity to do it now? Especially because I like the subject, and it will help me decide if cardiology is something I want to pursue in the future. So yeah guys, that's basically why I decided to take a year out of medicine starting in September 2022. So I was actually supposed to graduate in 2024, but by God's grace I'll be graduating in 2025 now, which is so funny to me, because initially at the beginning of the year I didn't know how I would what I would end up deciding to do regarding intercalation. So it's funny how, as I said, life moves on regardless of your problems, and you have to decide what you want to do, basically. So yeah guys, that's how I decided I'm going to intercalate. I'll just quickly talk about why I chose cardiovascular medicine. I chose cardiovascular medicine because I really enjoy cardiology and vascular medicine. It's just something I always liked before I started medicine. I should have definitely done more research into the universities though that I chose to apply to, because I wanted to actually go to UCL, so University College London, but when I actually went to apply, UCL basically said they're not accepting external students, so I had to do a rush application to King College, and I actually didn't know at the time that Imperial did cardiovascular medicine as well. So for all the medics that are watching, who are in the younger years and are actually deciding if they want to intercalate too, just make sure you do your research regarding your degree that you want to do. If you want to do an MSc, or if you want to do an MA, or if you want to do a BSc or a BA, make sure you do research into the universities and choose a university that works for you. I wanted to go UCL because I thought that would be a different experience. And I mean, it's another Russell Group university, one of the best universities in the world. So why not tap into that opportunity that I've been given? And make sure when you're doing your research and when choosing to intercalate, you're doing it for the right reasons. Obviously, there is no more points system to intercalate in, so that means when I graduate, the fact that I've intercalated and done an extra year of study will not add to my foundation year program application. So that was even another reason why I just thought, do I really need to intercalate? But at the end of the day, you shouldn't intercalate because of the points or because of what it can. I mean, yeah, you should intercalate because of what it can give you, but don't let the points or don't let that be the sole reason why you're doing it. It obviously can't be the sole reason why you're doing it now because the point system has gone, but make sure you're doing it because you want to do it and the reasons that you're doing it just align with what you want for yourself as a person. So yeah guys, that's that video on intercalation for me done. I feel like I've been talking for ages. But yeah guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe, like and share, like and share if you enjoyed the video. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe to the channel please. If you're liking the content, please subscribe and please press the bell if you're interested in being notified of content that I drop later down the line. But yeah, thanks for listening guys.